5 of the worst homes that you could possibly buy if you're thinking of moving to La Verne. The last one is probably going to shock you more than any other one because unfortunately you might be living in one right now. So number 5, trains. If you live near the train tracks, man, that's got to be tough on you. And most of the times, there's a lot of businesses that are built around train tracks and not so many homes. But here in La Verne, they expanded the Gold Line, moving from like Pasadena all the way to the airport. And now there's homes that are right against the railroad tracks. So what does that mean? From my experience, you got noise, you got vibration, you got even danger. I have a little one, and if we live near train tracks, like right behind it, I'd be really concerned. He gets out, starts to ride his bike and something, gets a little too close to the railroad tracks. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. Do people walk through those train tracks? Possibly. They just seem dangerous to me. So that's my opinion about living near railroad tracks. And where's the railroad when it comes to La Verne? Well, it cuts right across here, and it's a necessity. I'm a big fan of public transportation to lower the amount of cars that are on the highway. And yeah, we need more railroads. We need more public transport. So that expansion line, I think it's great. But you don't have to live there to enjoy it, right? So if you have more trains, there's less traffic, more people are using that, right? But there's, again, like I said, but you can live away from the railroad and enjoy less traffic. And if you want more info, probably where to specifically live if you are moving out here, go ahead and give me a call. I'm a real estate agent here in the area. Here's my contact information. I always love getting phone calls from you guys, emails or text messages, whatever you want to do. And I'll be able to help you, guide you to the right neighborhood that fits what you're looking for. Another area you may want to not consider, let's do like number 4, is probably Old Town. Old Town, like it says, is old with a lot of old homes. Now, if you might be able to pick a newer home, which is great, but when you live in an old home, like a 100-year-old home, you got 100-year-old problems. I live in one, is how I know. The house sits on like a raised foundation, and you know, I'm always having to replace something under the house, and it costs like crazy amount of money. And it's not even like a new kitchen where I can enjoy. It's just like maintenance of this old home. And you know, it's made out of wood, and how long is wood gonna last? I don't know. Obviously I'm replacing 100-year-old pieces of wood with brand new wood, but still, it's like always maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. And then some of these homes in Old Town are historic homes. So you just can't, I want to paint my house this color, that color. You have to get like permission from the town, and they have to say, no, you only could go these colors, or you have to do these type of windows, or this or that. And there's a bunch of rules. You just can't just do whatever you want. So I'd stay away from that if that's not something you're into. Now, I know these craftsman homes are really unique. They're old, historic. They look beautiful when they're well maintained. Even though the bedrooms are all smaller, because I guess we were smaller 100 years ago or something, or needed less space. So they're smaller. But still, I mean, there is a big trade-off. You're going to have to maintain those homes. Post-World War II, in my opinion, is the way to go. Obviously, if it's well maintained. Because there's new homes that aren't maintained well and are junk either way. And there's homes that are 200 years old, well maintained, and are great. Generally speaking, I look for newer homes. And if you want more info on what it's like to live here in the Inland Empire and this side of LA County, go ahead, subscribe, hit like. That really helps me out. And you get to see all the other videos I've made on what it's like to live out here. And of course, if you want more details and you say, you have a specific question, go ahead and comment. Or reach out to me, send me a text message. I'm glad to help and talk with everyone. Number 3 on our list that you should really stay away from, in my opinion, are homes that are close by the highway. Highway homes, so again, necessary evil. You need to live out here and you want to go to LA to go to work or travel around, you have to jump on a highway. It's the only way to get out there, right? And what does that mean if you live one of these highway homes, which here in La Verne, look where they're at, and there's homes right there. One, noise. Man, you're gonna hear those trucks, those cars, and during rush hour, this highway gets packed, the 210 gets packed, and so you get to hear all the honking. And in my opinion, even worse is that air pollution. The exhaust from the trucks that we all need and the cars that everyone drives in, it's really heavily concentrated in closer to the highways. The further you get away from it, the less concentrated it is. If I'm going to pick, yeah, that's one of the things I look into. I say, how close is it to the highway? If it's right up against it, to me, that's a negative. What's the benefit there? Well, you may be able to buy that home at a less expensive price. So what's the trade-off? You have that noise you have to deal with, and you have that new air pollution. I don't know what it's like to live next to a highway for 20 years. Maybe it doesn't do anything. I don't know. Number two, I would say homes that exist on a busy street. There's some streets around here that drivers, they go 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, and your house is right up against it. So that means if you need to pull in, you're slowing down, and if the person behind you who's going 50 miles an hour is not paying attention, yeah, that could be pretty dangerous. You might say, well, I have no problem with that, but for me, if I have to reverse out of my driveway or stop traffic, back in, whatever it is, I feel like I live on a busy street right now, and the cars are flying by, and it's a small street, and they're going like 40, 50 miles an hour, and I have a small one. You know, he's only 3 right now, and the worst thing that can happen if he wants to run out, and, you know, kids do what kids do. Yeah, they're going too fast. That's really dangerous in my opinion. We're trying to get a stop sign and a speed bump installed. So we're going through that process with the city to see if we can even do it. And then number 1, home to avoid if you're going to decide to live out here in La Verne, and this probably goes with any neighborhood that you're thinking of moving into, are corner homes. What does that mean? So you have an intersection, and there's 4 corners at this intersection. These homes, in my opinion, are just as dangerous because there are always accidents. Not always, but I see a lot of accidents like all the time. I'm driving around. What happened to this guy's fence? Someone drove into it from a car accident. You know, again, people out here, they drive pretty fast sometimes when they're not supposed to. And if you live on a corner house, they're swerving out of the way and boom, into your corner. Now, the only reason I consider a corner house is if it's like in a really slow, quiet neighborhood it's not like, it's like in a secluded neighborhood where everyone's driving kind of slow, or it's at a curve or something along those lines where if people just naturally drive slower to begin with. That's the only way. And maybe on that corner, there's some type of barrier. I don't know, some big old oak tree, or maybe the house is higher up on a hill. So I like to think when there's an accident and a car goes onto your land, it can't drive up that hill to your house as easily. I have some clients that used to live on these corner homes, and they were like, yeah, we've had in the past 10 years, a car hit our house. Man, that's crazy. What if you're hanging out there, you know, and a car just hits your house and you're there? That could be messed up. So if you're thinking of moving out here to La Verne, I look at these 5 different types of homes, and something to consider if you're deciding to make a move out here. And if you want more information on what it's like and what you can actually buy, if you decide to say, hey, La Verne, I still like it. What should I buy? What can I afford? I did a video, check it out. It's what you can actually afford in La Verne. And if you have any questions and you say, Oscar, help me find the best house for me and my family, reach out again. Send me a text, send me an email, whatever you want to do. Give me a phone call if you're brave enough. I'm here to help. I'll talk to you guys.